What's wrong? Okay, we're live. Yay. Technology. I don't like it. Okay, hi. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you are in need of a therapist, go to Psychology Today, put in your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and all of the therapists will be in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, I want to say a ginormous thank you to Susan Goodrich for being one of my moderators on this channel. I really, truly appreciate she works for Mercury. It really is a huge help. She's not able to get on every single time I'm doing the live chat because, well, this live chat, yes, but when I do the little one-offs, that's just me out there. So if we get trolls, we nail them as quickly as we possibly can. If they start talking in foreign languages, trust me, we look that up to see what they are saying. And if they are saying nasty things, they get banned. So anyway, I want to say a ginormous, ginormous thank you to Susan Goodrich. So your goddess. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. All right, am I planning on answering new questions this time? Well, I'm going to be talking about divorce this time, guys. So we're going to be staying on topic. So this is, when I do the show on Sundays, it's a topic. When I do the Q&As, it's a Q&A. And I get to as many of them as I possibly can. Yes, if you are going to be asking questions, please put question, the word question, in ginormous capital letters so I know that it's a question. That would be very, 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 very helpful. Okay, let's get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way. All right, if you are interested in purchasing this lovely 20-ounce mug, it is available on eBay. I will be putting up my books also on eBay because apparently Australia can't order them off of Amazon. So we need to do something about that. So these books are available on Amazon. They are also available on Audible if you would rather listen to them. And I do the narration. So there that is. Okay, there is that. One more thing before I start answering questions and talking about the topic of today, which is divorce, either dealing with your disordered ex or your new spouse's disordered ex. We're going to talk about both of those. The lectures. Okay, so I will be in Honolulu on November 10th. So please, 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 if you are interested in seeing me in Honolulu, I need a head count, guys, because I'm packing my bags right now. So I need to know how many books I'm bringing with me. And go to Eventbrite, Mercury Eventbrite, Chris Godinez, Mercury Eventbrite, and sign up because I need to know how many books I'm bringing in. I want to make sure I bring enough. There is that. Also, I will be in Tacoma December 1st. So again, if you want to go to those lectures, let me know, or the book signing, please let me know so I can figure out how much to pack. That would be great. Okay, so I'm going to chit chat a little bit about divorce and the ex, and then I'm going to start getting to questions. So, all right, so leaving a narcissist, leaving an abuser is really, really a dicey proposition for so many reasons. One, they're crazy. I mean, they are literally batshit nutso crazy. So when you go into a divorce situation with a narcissist, it is not a normal divorce. I cannot emphasize that enough. And if you are now the new partner of somebody who has divorced a disordered person, it's not going to be a normal ex situation. They're crazy. I mean, the exes are crazy and they're all about the win. So so much to incorporate, but I need to get this all out. So, okay, when you're going into a divorce situation and your ex is the one that is disordered, it is not a normal divorce. Normal divorces are contentious to begin with, okay? It's the breakup of a marriage, the breakup of a relationship, splitting up of the family, the whole thing. That's got a lot of emotions to go with it. But when you are dealing with somebody who is a malignant narcissist or a malignant borderline, you've got an extra added layer of crazy going on. They are all about the win. They want to win at any and all costs, okay? They don't care about the kids. They don't care about you. They don't care about, getting it over quickly. In fact, what a narcissist will do, their whole goal is to drag it out as long as they possibly can to bankrupt you. That is their evil plan. They want to punish. It is all about the win for them. Again, they do not view kids as kids. They don't view you as somebody that you once had an intimate relationship with. You are an object to be used like this cup, okay? They don't view kids as kids. They view them as pawns in a game of chess. And if they can use those kids to do parental alienation, if they can use those kids to hurt you, they will. So what they will do is they will hire usually a Top Gun attorney, and then they'll try to drag it out as long as they possibly can. And they will ask for unreasonable things. They don't just want half, they want everything. And that means things that they have absolutely no interest in. So let's say that you have an interest in woodworking, right? They'll demand all the tools from that, or they'll demand all the woodworking stuff, or they'll demand, they want half of everything. And they're just vicious motherfuckers. So when you go into a divorce with an abuser, you cannot walk in there acting as if this is a normal situation. It wasn't a normal situation when you were with them. It's not going to be a normal situation now that you're breaking off from them. They're pissed that you're leaving. They're pissed that their favorite punching bag has put 2 and 2 together and figured out that they're the problem. They are angry about that, and they are going to want to punish. And that's why when they get into the court, they start demanding X, Y, and Z, and they want everything, and they want the kids, and they want the dog, and they want the house, and they want the cars, all of them. Even if you had 2 cars, they'll demand both cars. I mean, that's the kind of peoples that we're dealing with. They're just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So you cannot go into a divorce thinking that, this is going to be great. We're going to get separated. Everything's going to be fine. We'll just split it 50-50 and everything will be good. No. If you've got kids, you're going to be dealing with these assholes until the kids are 18 and beyond, because they're pissed that you figured it out and you got away from them. This is just what they do. So that's kind of a little bit of a separate subject, but I want to talk about parental alienation as well. So what you need to do is you need to hire a really good attorney. Listen to me now. Believe me later. You get what you pay for. I hate to say it, but you get what you pay for. So you want an attorney that understands high conflict divorces, okay? High conflict divorces. Some of this information is also going to apply to people who have now married somebody who has a disordered ex, because the disordered ex is going to drag you back to court as often as they possibly can. It is going to be a never-ending cycle of going back to court. And some people look at that and go, oh my God, I can't handle it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Because here's the thing. As they get crazier in their demands, as they show themselves for what they really are, they can't keep the mask up. They really can't. Because in court, what the abuser does is they hope that they can do the whole histrionic, dramatic, playing on the emotions kind of thing. When you're in a court situation, the judge does not give a flying rat's ass about histrionics or drama. They just want to get you off of their list, their chart, their whatever it's called, their agenda, their, whatever. They just want to rush through as many court cases as they possibly can. So if somebody is dragging something out, they're going to start not liking that person. Trust me on that one. So you want to get a really good attorney who understands high conflict divorce, okay? Who's going to be fighting for you, who understands that you're going up against somebody who is probably emotionally deregulated, who is going to be unreasonable, irrational, angry, etc. And they're going to know exactly how to poke the bear so that that person's mask goes ka-thunk in the middle of court, which will show everybody who they are. That's what you want, okay? So when you're going through a divorce, be prepared for them to be completely irrational. Absolutely. They'll bring the new girlfriend. They'll play the victim. They'll do whatever it takes in order to try to bankrupt the person who left them. In a healthy, normal situation, couples split and they recognize, okay, this is not working. We're going to split. We've got kids. We need to co-parent. We're going to work together. In a disordered situation, there is no co-parenting. There is no co-parenting. And this is horrifically hard on the new spouse that comes in to be with the victim of abuse, right? So the victim of abuse has worked, or the target of abuse has worked on themselves. They've gotten with a new person. There's kids involved, and we have a disordered ex. The disordered ex is going to cause nothing but trouble for the new spouse because they're jealous and they're pissed and they're angry and they're going to keep dragging them back to court and they're going to try to badmouth the new spouse to the kids and they're going to use the kids as pawns and they're going to keep causing problems all the time, all the time, all the time. And it drives the new spouse absolutely batshit crazy because they're like, oh my freaking God, is this ever going to stop? And the answer to that is no, but you can change your reaction to it. Hold on just a second. So when you're dealing with a disordered spouse, whether it's yours or it's your new boyfriend, your new spouse's ex-spouse, what they are looking for, the reason they are doing that is they want a reaction. They need to triangulate. They need to keep that connection going. They would rather have a dysfunctional, fucked up connection to somebody than no connection at all. That is just the way that they are. So what they'll do is they'll keep causing problems with the kids, with the new spouse, and keep doing stuff using the kids as pawns and all that sort of stuff. And so the only thing that the new spouse can do is practice gray rock, because what that ex wants is they want a blow up. They want drama. They want the huge confrontation and, oh, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And that's how they get their narcissistic supply. So when you stop responding to them on an emotional level and you only respond when it has to do with the kids and you only respond when it is non-emotional, they get eventually tired of it because they're not getting their narcissistic supply. So when somebody is in a highly contentious divorce and there are kids involved, I always tell them, it's like, you need to make it very clear in the court that you will only have contact with them when it has to do with the kids. And then what the abuser will do is they'll try to make it about the kids, but really it's a covert, you know, fuck you to the other parent, and they'll sneak in a bunch of other stuff. And I said, look, you're going to have to be a detective when you read these emails. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to sort out what is really about the kids and what is really a personal attack. You ignore the personal attack, you stick to the kids, and you use as non-emotional wording as possible. Dear Mr. So-and-so, I received your email regarding our son's soccer practice. Thank you for advising me of your concerns. You know, we will continue to monitor the situation. I remain, you know, yours. You keep it as impersonal as possible. A, that's going to piss them off. Too bad. And B, they're going to get really tired of the same response. If you just keep doing that over and 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 over, eventually, and it will take time, eventually they'll stop because they're not getting that narcissistic supply. Because when you shoot back an email or you call them on the phone, and God forbid, don't fucking call them on the phone. Do not. You want everything in writing. Everything in writing. You want texts, you want emails. You do not want phone calls, because what they'll do is if they get you on the phone, they'll start gaslighting, they'll start lying, they'll start manipulating, and they'll start messing with your head. And you don't need that. It's so much easier to see it when it's in black and white. Plus the fact, if it's in writing and you're still in the middle of a divorce, or you're still being drugged back to court, back and forth every year, you've got all of the texts and all of the emails. You can show the court that this person is absolutely irrational, unreasonable, harassing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why you want to keep it in writing. So, so much to talk about. So when there are kids involved, you as the new love interest or the new mom or the new stepmom or whatever, you are always going to be the focal point of the ex's ire, you know, because how dare he or she move on and find somebody that they love and have a good life without them? Because in their mind, it's like, oh, but you know, you can't live without me. I'm penultimate. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing. So in their twisted little minds, rather than sitting down and having a look at themselves and going, gee, why did we break up? Oh, gee, maybe it's because I was lying and cheating and, you know, stealing and screaming at 2:00 in the morning and, you know, getting rid of their family and friends. You know, I don't know. You know, they never are introspective like that. They will never once sit down and go, what did I do? Okay. So what they'll do though, is they'll project onto the new spouse, the new girlfriend, you know, whatever. and they'll make it very much a competition. So it's really hard for the new spouses to cope with, because especially if you're dealing with littler kids and you're kind and you're loving and you're caring, or dad, if it's the dad as the new spouse, you're kind, you're loving, you're caring, the little kids will start calling you daddy, or they'll start calling you mommy. And then when that ex finds out that that's happening, they'll punish the kids, which sucks because it's not the kids' fault. And they'll start a whole new series of harassments against you because the kids have called the new spouse mommy or daddy. So things to be aware of that we don't even think about when we're going into a divorce situation is that you might want to give the kids a different name to call you. So Noni or Momo or Dada or something else, because you don't want them to get in trouble with the crazy ex, but you also want them to be able to have an affectionate name for you, since they obviously like you enough to call you mommy or daddy. These people just piss me off. They just do. They don't give a shit about the kids. Like I said, the kids are nothing more to them than a means to an end, and they're a way to either gouge the ex for more money, or they're a way to use the kids to hurt the ex, or whatever. Then we get into parental alienation. So the other thing that will happen is the spouse gets with somebody else, and they then punish them by withholding the children, totally against all custody agreements. And the whole time they're with them, they're bad-mouthing the other ex. This is really, really hard on the parent who is being alienated, extremely hard, because either the kids are buying it because they recognize they have to survive by drinking the Kool-Aid, or the kids aren't buying it and they're distraught because they can't be with the parent that they know is saner and therefore safer. So this is why if an ex withholds the kids, you need to jump on that like immediately. Like you let them know, we're not playing this fucking game. Period. You're not using those children as pawn. You're not going to alienate them from me. Now, what the ex will do is they will continue to badmouth you. And what you do is you never badmouth them. You never, ever, 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 ever want to badmouth the other parent, even though it is clear to everyone and their dog that they are absolutely batshit crazy. You never, ever want to badmouth them. Why? Because the kids are part of them and they know it. So if you're badmouthing them, the kid is going to go, does mommy or daddy like me? Am I bad because I'm a part of them? Ooh, yeah, you don't want to do that. It's going to backfire on them. So one of two things will happen. Either they will go down the disordered route, like the disordered parent, or they'll survive and they'll figure it out and they'll come around and you'll be okay. And there's no control over that. Nature, nurture, nature, nurture, nature, nurture. I don't know. Column A, column B. So it is very disheartening on the parent that is being alienated because they're watching their kid slip away in a way. But hopefully when they get older, invite them to come to therapy with you. Start working it through. And that's another thing. Make therapy a condition of custody. It's like, no, the kids need to be in therapy. Not family therapy for them. They need therapy for them. So they have a safe place that they can go, bleh. So there that is. The other thing you want to do too is when you have got kids involved in one of these high conflict divorces, you document the living shit out of every single time they give up their time, because they'll do one of two things. Like I said, they'll either do the parental alienation where they take them away completely and you're not allowed to see them, which like I said, you jump on that shit ASAP. Or what they'll do is they get bored or they get tired of having to take care of little ones, because those little ones are time intensive. They need your attention. And if you're a narcissist, you're not going to be wanting to give your attention to anybody except yourself. So what they'll do is they'll start giving up their time. They'll start giving up their time. But yet they still want you to pay more than 50%. Yeah, don't get me started. So you want to document that, because then when you do go back, you want to show that they've given up all this time. And they will drag you back to court for the stupidest things. Trust me on that one. So the intention of a disordered ex with the new wife or the new husband is to break you guys up. That is their sole focus, because they're pissed that you found somebody and you're happy. And how dare you be happy? But here's the thing. You, as the new spouse, you don't need to respond to them. You don't, let them say what they're going to say. Let them believe what they're going to believe because they are going to do that anyway. And all you can do is be a support for your spouse, and you let your spouse deal with the ex. You do. You don't want to get into it. You don't. Okay. So hold on. I'm going to start answering questions about this. Hang on. And I would please, if you guys could keep the questions to this particular topic, that would be very helpful too. Okay. I'm constantly being abused by proxy by my husband, I believe anyway. Not sure about anything these days. How does one stop this from happening? Abuse by proxy. This also happens to the spouses that have a disordered ex, or the new spouse of a spouse that has a disordered ex. So it's a flying monkey. So abuse by proxy is where the abuser gets other people to come in and start harassing. So in other words, what that would be is flying monkeys. So flying monkeys are people that either are honestly ignorant of abuse and they don't understand the dynamics in a high conflict divorce, or they are minor narcissists themselves and wish to align themselves with a major narcissist. So what a narcissistic parent ex will do is they'll bend the ear of the teachers. They'll bend the ear of the school. They'll start talking to whoever they can and start smearing. So do a smear campaign. So really, there's nothing you can do about that. And the more you try to, and other people will abuse on their behalf. So you as the new spouse may suddenly get a bunch of hate mail from somebody, or, nasty messages being left on your phone. What you do is you document. And you do not respond. You do not respond. What these people are looking for is they're looking for drama. They're looking for validation that they got to you. So if you respond, that lets them know, oh, message received. Yep, I'm upset. And then they're sitting there going, ha, 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 ha. Narcissistic supply. Okay. You do not want to respond. So abuse by proxy is done by flying monkeys. What you do is you don't allow it. If they try to abuse you, you say no. It's like, no, I'm not putting up with that. Nope, I'm not going to go there. Nope, I'm not answering your questions. No, you don't need to know this. It's none of your business. And you basically make a note of who the flying monkeys are. And if they are honestly ignorant, you educate them. If you've educated them and they continue to do it, you get rid of them, period. They don't need to be in your life. They don't need to be in your spouse's life. They don't need to be in your stepkids' lives. Okay. All right, hang on. Why would a borderline have extreme difficulties in divorcing a narcissistic man? Why does the narcissist man that I'm referring to seem to want some narcissistic supply from a borderline? Because borderlines are, especially at the lower end of the spectrum, are very, very emotional. When they get to the malignant end of the spectrum, it's usually just anger. But at the lower end of the spectrum, they're very, very emotional. And that is very much emotional narcissistic supply for a narcissist. So the typical combination is a narcissist with a borderline, and that narcissist can be male or it can be female, and the borderline can be male or it can be female. So it's the narcissistic supply. They love it because the borderline is very afraid of being abandoned, and so they play that like a stringed instrument, and they just live off of that narcissistic supply. So it's a fear of abandonment. It's the fear of being left. So when you get a narcissist and a borderline together, and the borderline recognizes they're at the lower end of the spectrum, and they recognize, oh my God, this is an abusive, toxic, horrible relationship, yet they are terrified of being abandoned, so they keep staying with it. No bueno. That is not healthy. That is not normal. So that usually means that there is some sort of abandonment that has gone on in the borderline's life, probably original wound, probably mom or dad. It could be a dad issue, could be a mom issue. So you want to investigate both. That's what keeps people stuck in these horrifically abusive relationships, is that there's this fear of abandonment or this fear of being alone. Oh my God, I'm going to be alone. Oh my God, I'm going to die alone. No. You stick with the abuser, you will die alone. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. You'll lose all your family, all your friends, your kids. You'll lose them all. So there it is. That's why they get narcissistic supply from a borderline, because they feel, especially down at the lower end of the spectrum, they feel, and they're very sensitive. They really are. When they're the quiet ones or the hermits even, they feel when they get to the witch and the queen. And when I say witch, I don't mean like Wicca, guys. So please don't get offended by that. I'm talking witch, like really should be a B instead of a W. So the bitch and the queen. When they get to that part, then they're stick a fork in them, they're done. So that's why. Okay. All right, let me answer some of these questions. Oh, okay. So when they feel like they deserve everything you have in a divorce case, there is going to be a natural part of you that wants to give them everything just to make them go away. Don't do it. For the love of God and all that is holy, do not fucking do it. Why? Because it'll never be enough. You are dealing with a black hole. So even if you gave them the house, the car, the cat, the dog, the, whatever, full custody of the kids, the whole thing, it'll never be enough. It'll never be enough. You are going to have to stand your ground. And this is where I got a lot of people going, I don't like confrontation. They're evil. They're scary. They yell at me. They do this. They punish. They this, that, and the other thing. Well, yeah, of course they do, because it's worked. In the past, it has worked. Now is your stand. Now is when you stand up and go, buck stops here, motherfucker. I am not playing this fucking game. Nope, you are not getting everything. Have a nice day. And I swear to God and all that is holy, you protect your kids. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to protect your children. You do whatever it takes to keep them safe. This is your mission, okay? Because otherwise, this abuser is going to use the kids. They're going to use them as pawns. They're going to use them as little mini-me's. They're going to abuse by proxy through them. Your job now is to keep that shit from happening. And you do not allow them to bully you into giving up everything. They don't deserve everything. What they deserve is a swift kick in the ass is what they deserve. So, yeah, so that's why they do it, because it's never going to be enough. It is never, ever, 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 ever going to be enough. And if you give in to them, you're going to spend your entire life. Well, here, take this. Well, here, take that. Well, here, if I just give you this, you'll go away. If I give you this, you'll stop yelling at me. If you give me this, you'll be nice to the kids. If I give you this, no. And here's the other thing. It's like, so I often have parents be terrified to demand a psych eval on an abusive ex because they're like, well, she'll punish the kids, or he'll punish the kids, or whatever. No, well, yeah, she might, but you get a psych eval on your side and you can show the court that this person is not a fit parent, then you've got a better chance of getting custody. And you couple that with parental alienation and they're going against court orders, they're going to be in contempt of court. So yeah, if you think that you have a good way to get a psych eval on these people, do it. Do it, because there's been cases where the psych eval has come back and it shows antisocial, narcissistic, borderline, and it's just like, no, this person should have supervised visits. So, or no visits at all. But anyway, there's that. Yeah, you cannot live in fear, guys. And this is what abusers do. They want you to be terrified. They want you to be so afraid and so worked up that you won't contest them in court, or that you won't ask for a psych eval, or that you won't try to fight for your kids, or whatever. You can't do that. You have to fight for your kids. And if that means asking for a psych eval, you do it. And you teach the kids to stand up for themselves as well. And, when they're around so-and-so, okay, hun, you stay safe around them. When you come to me, you can vent. And this is the thing. You're going to be parallel parenting. You're not going to be co-parenting. They don't play nice with others. They don't, ever. Not on this or any other planet Earth. So you're going to be parallel parenting, which means when the kids come back from a visit with Cray Cray over here, it's going to take about 2 or 3 days for them to get back to normal, just in time for them to go back to Cray Cray. This is why it's so hard on kids, because most custody cases, most judges are loath to give any less or any more than 50-50, because to them it's easy. It's a 5-2-2-5, I think is what it is. 5-2-2-5, splitting it up, right? Or every other weekend or every other week or whatever. And like I said, they just want to get you off the docket. They just want to get you off the docket. They don't really give a fuck about what's going on. They just want to get you off the docket. Just agree to this stuff and get off the docket. Okay. That's really what their main focus is. So, the going back and forth is hard on the kids because when they're with cray cray, they have to act one way, obviously, because they've been conditioned, like, intermittent positive rewards. They're suffering the same thing you did. Hello. And then when they come back to you, they may take stuff out on you as the stepmom, as the stepdad, as the dad, as the mom, who's the saner one. Why? Because it's a displacement of anger. So you can't get angry at the cray-cray parent because the cray-cray parent is going to hurt you either emotionally or physically. So the safer parent is the one that they're going to come back and act out with, which of course all of the sane parents are going, tearing their hair out going, why? I'm the parent that's sane. I'm the parent that's taking them to counseling. I'm the parent that loves them. I'm the parent that listens to them. I'm the parent that plays with them. I'm the parent that, well, yeah, that's why, guys. I hate to break it to you. So when that happens, what you have to do is let them know. It's like, nope, you don't get to take out your anger on me. If you need to get mad at mommy over here or daddy over here, how about we draw? How about we write it out? How about you show me what's going on? How about do you see where I'm going? And that's why counseling is so vitally important, to teach them how to deal with the anger, because they're going to have anger against this parent, and not take it out on stepmom, stepdad, dad, mom. Does that make sense? Oh, God. Okay. And sometimes they wrap up the divorce quickly if they have another supply. It just depends. If they don't have another supply, they will drag it out forever and ever and ever. Amen. If they do have a supply, yeah, they'll want to wrap it up and get involved with their next victim, their next target, as quickly as possible. Okay. Oh, yeah. And they will. This is the thing. Narcissists tell you exactly what they're going to do because they're arrogant and they're stupid and they think that they're smarter than everybody else. But they will say, I'm going to bankrupt you. I will drag you back to court every year. I am going to do X, Y, and Z. Believe them. Believe them. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do. I am going to make sure you don't have family and friends. I'm going to make you get rid of your kids. I am going to believe them because they are. They're going to do it. They tell you exactly, I'm going to make sure that, I have everything. I deserve everything. Yeah, they truly believe that. Don't think that they don't. Okay. Left with my son and divorced the narc. Why at first he was fighting for custody of our son and suddenly on the last hearing he gave it up completely to me. Was this his plan? Yes. So think about it. Hang on. With a narcissist, with an abuser, it is all about the win. They want to win at any and all costs. And I do mean any and all costs. They don't care who they hurt to win. It's a win for them. It's an ego thing. It's a win. So if you get full custody and you divorce them and all of that, and you leave and you show that they're an abuser and all of that, they're pissed, okay, because they've lost in their head. Now, a normal person, first of all, wouldn't abuse. But second of all, if somebody was like, oh, you're abusive, you're this, you're that, you'd be working on it. You'd be figuring out what went wrong. How come the relationship went this way? And how can I help my child? And da-da-da-da-da. They don't care about the kid. So what they do is they drag out custody stuff at first. I'm going to get full custody and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that until they figure out how expensive it is to keep fighting. Yeah, because they don't want to spend their money on getting full custody of your kid, whereas the rest of us would be like selling everything we own in order to make sure our child is okay. So narcissists are very, yes, that was their intention, because what they want to do is bankrupt you and they want to scare you and they want you living in this state of, oh my God, I'm going to lose my child. Oh my God, he's going to get full custody or she's going to get full custody or whatever. They do this on purpose. And this is why I'm saying when you are divorcing a disordered person, or you are the wife or the fiance or the girlfriend or the boyfriend of somebody who has a disordered ex, you must become a Zen master and not respond to their bullshit. They will say the most outrageous things. They will do the most outrageous things. They will tell the kids the most outrageous things. You've just got to be able to sit there and go, huh, well, that's interesting. And here's the truth. Do you see where I'm going? No emotion, no emotion, no emotion, because they're looking for that fight. They're looking for the fear. They get off on it. They think they're all powerful. They think that they can dictate the law. They think they know more than everybody because they're dark triads: psychopath, Machiavellianism, and narcissist. So they really truly think they know more than the law. And when they start figuring it out that it's going to cost a lot of money and they're going to have to raise this kid and, everything like that. And plus the fact, the other part of it is too, they try to go for full custody because, again, just like in the other example, they deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve full custody. Even though they're the worst parent on the face of the fucking planet, their egos are like, oh, well, I'm the better parent. I'm this, I'm that, I'm fabulous. I deserve it. And she can't have it or he can't have it or whatever, because it's a win-lose situation. They want to win. They want you to lose. They're not ever considering the kid. Ever. And when they start realizing that the court is not going to give them more than 50-50. Here's the deal, guys. At least in the state of Arizona, in my experience working with the court systems, 50-50 is it, unless, caveat, unless there's abuse or neglect going on, in which case, yeah, the state will step in and go, hell no, yeah, you get supervised visits, or you get, 20/80 or, whatever. So in most cases, it's going to be 50-50. If there's abuse or neglect going on, yeah, then you can get full custody. Then you can get more or supervised visits or whatever. But narcissists are so arrogant that they think that they're just going to walk in and tell the judge exactly how it's going to go down. And the judge is going to immediately comply with their demands, which is a criteria of narcissistic personality disorder. Excuse me. Okay, so that's why they did that. Yes, that was their plan, was to get full custody, but it wasn't about the kid. It was about their ego. It was about the win. And then when they realized they couldn't, so here's the thing. When a narcissist recognizes that they're not going to win, they stop because they're cowards. And their ego won't allow them to lose in their minds, even though they've already lost. But in their minds, it's like, well, I didn't want them anyway, is what they do. Well, I didn't really want full custody anyway. I was just seeing if they wanted to. Do you see where I'm going with that? They're never honest. They're never once honest with themselves. They're never once honest with anybody else. So they're very, if they're not assured to win, they'll avoid it. They'll avoid it. If they're not assured to win, they'll avoid it. So if they think they can win, they'll do it. But if there's even the possibility of losing, they'll drop it. So that's why. Ego. Okay. All right. Okay, what is a way to determine if an X is BPD or NPD since they are so similar? They really are not that similar. They only get similar when you get further down the malignancy line, and once they've reached the witch bitch and the queen in the borderline area, it starts overlapping so that all of the personality disorders start kind of melding together. That goes with narcissistic personality disorder when it reaches dark triad as well. So when you get abusers that have slid down the line and they're over here at the malignant end of the spectrum, every single personality disorder starts expressing itself. It's really horrifying to see. So really, a psych eval would be the way to do. If you are interested in what the criteria is, you can always look it up on the Mayo Clinic, because the Mayo Clinic has got the criteria for both NPD and BPD. You just look it up. You go Mayo Clinic, NPD criteria, Mayo Clinic, BPD criteria, and you can read it up and see what the criteria is. You have to have 5 of the 9. The other thing you could do too is you could buy this huge book, the DSM-5, off of Amazon, and it has all of the psychiatric diagnoses in it. So, there's that. I believe knowledge is power. So if you want to, get the DSM-5. If you just want to look it up online, go to the Mayo Clinic. That's the one I would trust. So there is that. Okay. And honestly, if you're in the middle of a divorce case and there's been abuse going on, it really doesn't matter. Just ask for a psych eval. Okay. Yes. When you are in the middle of the divorce case, or even afterwards, their whole goal is to bankrupt you. Their whole goal is to bankrupt you financially. So what they'll do is they'll send the kid to you with no shoes, wrong clothes, dead of winter, they're wearing shorts, that kind of thing. So you'll go buy them winter clothes, right? And then send them back with the appropriate clothes. And the next time you get them back, it's the same thing. And eventually they will have tons of clothes over there. It's just, it angers me so greatly that they care nothing for their own prodigy. They don't care a damn about their own kids. What they care about is hurting the ex. So, I've had several clients finally just taking to buying stuff at Goodwill and Salvation Army to send over so that it's not that expensive, but the kids are still warm. They still got shoes. That's the other thing. They'll send them barefoot. Assholes. They will send them barefoot. They will send them with the inappropriate clothing. They'll send clothes that are too small, way, 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 way too small, and then demand that you send them back. And I tell the parents, it's like, nope, you document, you take pictures, and you throw them away or you donate them. Nope. That's not okay to do that to a kid. Sorry. So, they do things like that. They want to bankrupt you. They want to do things to hurt you. Their egos are so hurt or pissed, mostly pissed. They don't really give a fuck, but they're mostly pissed that you left them, that you saw them for what they were and you weren't going to put up with the abuse. And so they want to punish. They want to punish. They want to punish. And that fear of punishment is what they're counting on for you to give in to them and to not stand up for the kids or not demand a psych eval or whatever. And you can't. You have to be bold. You have to be brave. And you have to warn the kids to, protect themselves as best they can. You keep it age appropriate. You never badmouth the other parent, but you give them as much self-esteem as you possibly can and good boundaries. So you start doing mirror work with them too. Kids love it. They think it's funny. So, just do that and keep working with them because yes, the abuser is going to use them as targets and they will try to bankrupt you in any means they possibly can. So there it is. Okay. Let's see. Question. What to do if he persistently refuses to email or text, and if he emails, he demands a response immediately? Nope. You sit on that email. You just sit on that email. Unless it's an emergency about the kids, you sit on that email. You do not need to respond. You're under no obligation, especially if it's not an emergency. If it's an emergency, obviously you're going to pick up the phone and call. But if it's not an emergency, you are under no obligations to respond immediately. Remember, narcissists and malignant borderlines are the ones who do the frantic texting, okay, and the frantic emailing. And they respond, they want a response right back, right back, right back, right back. A normal person recognizes that people work, people are busy, people are not going to be able to respond immediately, and you'll get a text back in a few hours, or you'll get an email back at the end of the evening when the person's home from work or whatever. But narcissists and malignant borderlines will demand immediate responses. So what you're going to do is you're going to stop being conditioned to respond immediately, and you're going to sit on that email for as long as you want. A couple hours, maybe half a day, and get back to them. Now, is that going to make them lose their mind and blow up your phone and do all sorts of things? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, it is. And you document the shit out of it. Absolutely. If they refuse to email or text, you don't pick up the phone. What you do, if they email or text you multiple times, or if they refuse to email or text and they call you multiple times, you send them a simple text back or simple email back. I will not answer your phone call. Please text me with what you want. Now, that's going to piss them off too because you're taking your power back. Ooh, you're not playing their game. You're putting it on your turf, your terms. So that's why they're pissed that you're not responding, and that's also why they keep trying to call. Stop being conditioned to answer the phone. Seriously, you send them a simple text back. Saw that you called several times. What do you want? Please text me. And when you're doing divorce stuff, put it in the divorce decree that all communication is to be through text or email, because you're not going to answer the phone unless it's an emergency. And of course, in their mind, an emergency is I need to hurt you, so I want to call you, and I'm going to make it about the kids, but then I'm going to throw in something really nasty. They can text you an emergency as well. They can. So there that is. He or she does not need a response immediately. You make them sit on it. You do. You start taking your power back. Stop living in the fear. The fear is, oh my God, they're going to respond this way and they're going to punish this way and they're going to do this. Well, yeah, they might. Absolutely. And they'll only do it for a few times and then they get bored with it because you're not playing the game and you're not upset. Right now, the fear is palpable. Do you see where I'm going with that? And they love it. They get off on that. They are fucking sadists. They enjoy tormenting people. So that's why they want that immediate response. They conditioned you to respond immediately or you'll get it. Well, too bad. They're not good. They have no power. They have no power over you anymore. Even if they have the kids, they have no power over you. They want you to think they do. So, you just sit on that email unless it's an emergency and unless it's about the kids. No, there is no reason for you to respond immediately, but this is what they do. And when they call, you simply send them a text back. I saw that you called. Please text me back. What do you need? That's it. That's all you need to do. And document everything. If they leave voicemails, you document those. You keep those. You make recordings of those. You keep those on file, especially if they're threatening or if they're harmful or, whatever. You keep those for documentation, you bet. Okay. All right. The other thing too is you let them know, I'm sorry, I'm at work. I can respond to you in 4 hours. That's reasonable. That's absolutely reasonable. Okay. Okay, how to stay sane while divorcing a narcissist while staying under the same roof, manipulated financially, and main part, how to help the kids during this time. I don't have the money to pay for an attorney, good or bad. Okay, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to start socking away money. So a safety plan is going to be in order. Safety plans are when you're still in the relationship in some way, shape, or form, staying in the same house, still married, etc. Safety plans are where can you go if you need to bug out quickly. The other thing you're going to need to do too is you're going to need to squirrel away as much money as you possibly can. Now, what narcissists will do is they will demand to have an accounting of every single cent that you make, or they will attempt to keep you from working. So if they have attempted to keep you from working, now is a great time to get a job. And now is a great time to get another banking account that is completely in your name and they have no access to, and it's not in the same bank. So you want to start socking away money. You need to come up with a safety plan. Where can you go if you need to bug out? Do you have a suitcase packed somewhere outside of the home that you can take for you and the kids if you need to get the hell out of there if things get dangerous? So coming up with a safety plan is huge. Also, socking away money is going to be your best thing. The other thing you can do too is if you have family and friends that you trust, you can ask them to help you. We have the hardest time asking for help because we have to talk about the abuse and it's embarrassing and we've got shame and we really don't need to have the shame because it's really the abuser's issue, not ours. But if you're in a situation where you need to get out, talk to family and friends about helping you get an attorney. There's nothing wrong with asking. The worst they can say is no. Okay. Other than that, start socking away money as much as you possibly can so that you can get the hell out of there and come up with a safety plan. If you need to, if things get really dicey, there is the domestic violence hotline, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which I don't have. Where is it? Good Lord. Hold on. National. If I could spell, I would be. There we go. Where to go? National. Damn it. National. Domestic. There it is. All right. Let me get the number for that. Hang on. 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. They also have a website that you can go to, but some abusers like to put keystroke logging on it, and they'll know that you're looking at that. Okay, so there is that. All right. Oh, sorry. Wait, where did it go? This thing jumps. I don't know why it jumps. It jumps. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, everything in writing, guys. You need to get everything in writing because they're manipulative and they're crazy and they will use whatever they can. Okay. Okay. So the other thing that abusers will do is they will claim that the good parent is the one that's abusive. They'll claim, that you've sexually abused the kids, that you've beat them, that you've done X, Y, and Z. They'll call CPS. They'll do all sorts of things. The thing of it is that at least here in Arizona, when CPS is called and there are serious allegations like that, they do an investigation. And obviously, if there's nothing going on and the kids are going, no, that never happened, then it's pretty clear that the other parent is the one that's creating these issues. If the kids are little, though, and they're unable to really speak well, like they're not old enough to, really communicate well, that makes it a little more difficult for the investigators. But again, if there's no signs, symptoms, whatever, then it's pretty clear that the other parent is doing that, especially if you're in a high conflict divorce. You just put everything through your lawyer. That's why I'm saying lawyers, really good lawyers, are really good to have on your side, and you get what you pay for. And you need somebody who understands high conflict divorce, because they do the nuclear obliteration. If they can't win, they're going to destroy you. That's their whole thing, is that they think they're all powerful, and it really pisses them off when they realize they're not. Hold on. So false allegations, you're going to have all sorts of things said about you. You absolutely are. I've dealt with cases where the crazy ex has called CPS multiple times, and CPS has finally gotten to the point where they're like, oh, really? And they'll do the, come out and, hi, we got another phone call, we just want to come in and take a look around. They'll come in and take a look around. They're like, yeah, we're not investigating this. And then they walk out, because this person has called CPS so many times, because they think in their own mind, ha, 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 I've got a paper trail and I'm going to get them and da, 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 da. Except for the fact that the other parent has never had any allegations charges brought against them, because the allegations are untrue. And yeah, so eventually the truth always comes out. It takes time. And it's frustrating. It is frustrating. Absolutely. So you just take the high road and you just keep doing you. And, if they keep harassing you this way, you may need to file a restraining order against them and see about getting full custody, if that's the case, because that's crazy and you shouldn't have to put up with that. So talk to a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, guys. I'm just a counselor. So if you have got legal questions you want to talk to a lawyer about how to handle this, when you've got kids, the ex is making false allegations, constantly calling CPS, constantly calling the police, constantly doing X, Y, and Z, when you're not doing anything over here, can you file harassment charges? I'm pretty sure you can. And I'm also pretty sure you can get a restraining order against them. And I'm also pretty sure you could probably ask for emergency custody. So there you go. All right. What if my daughter says things about her dad, things he does? Do I defend him or try to change the subject? No, you validate. You just validate her. It's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. I hear what how do you feel about that? How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? You validate. You don't change the subject, because when somebody changes the subject, when somebody's telling you something, what does that tell you? It tells them that you don't want to talk about it. Wrong. Incorrect response. You want to validate. Yes, I hear what you're saying. How do you feel about that? Are you okay? Is there anything we need to talk about with this? You just validate. And then you go and document everything that was said and what the topic was about. Especially if they're saying things like, dad or mom was drinking and got in the car with us and said X, Y, and Z about you and stepdad, or, whatever. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you always validate. You don't change the subject ever. You listen, well, what else do you need to tell me? Is everything okay? How are you feeling about this? What do we need to talk about? Validate. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I know it's tough going over to mom's house. Yeah, I know it's tough going over to dad's house. I'm really sorry. But until we're old enough to make a decision, we can't. We have to abide by the court laws. So that type of thing. No, you don't ever change the subject. You just validate. Okay. Okay. All right, hang on. Somebody's asking me to speak slowly. That's never going to happen. All right. Yes, they will use the kids as spies. So this is just what abusers do. They cannot stand it that you have left and you have started a new life with somebody else and you're happy, or you have left and you're alone and you're happy and you're working on yourself and this, that, and the other thing. And they will tell the kids to spy on you. Absolutely. And this is when you have to be very clear with the kids. Guys, I really wish you to respect the privacy of this home. if you want to talk to mom, that's great. But what goes on here stays here. Okay. Now that's kind of a hard line to walk because you want the kids to be able to not keep secrets so that nobody can harm them or hurt them. But you also have to let them know it's like, you know what? It's none of mom's business what we're doing. It's none of mom's business what we're, or dad's business that we're going on a picnic or whatever, or that I bought you, whatever. I mean, you're going to have to decide that for yourself, what is and is not okay to talk about. And of course, kids are going to feel obligated to tell them everything. So remember how when we were in the abuse, we had the fear, the obligation, and the guilt. They do too. So they are going to blurt stuff out. They are going to say, hey, Trista took us to Cold Stone and bought us an ice cream, and then they're going to come unglued because they've mentioned the new girlfriend or whatever. Or Harold took us to, I don't know, one of those kids' places, not Chucky's, Buster's or whatever, and they'll come unglued because the new boyfriend has been mentioned, So you may just want to be like, you might not want to talk about Trista or Harold to mom, just little things like that. So, but yeah, and it's a tough line to walk because you want them to not keep secrets, but you also don't want them to blurt your affairs to mom or dad, whoever the abuser was, but they will use the kids like that. So just assume, basically one way around that is just assume that everything you do is going to be run back to your ex, and the ex is going to know everything because they'll ask the kids. They'll demand to know. They'll, just like they demanded to know everything we were doing, they're going to demand to know everything the kids are doing, or they're going to demand to know what we're doing through the kids. So yeah, they absolutely will do that. Okay, let's see. Okay. Ex is facing domestic violence charges. I helped report it. Kids blame me. We are in therapy. How do I help them? I'm going for supervised visits and the kids are angry at me. Well, of course they are because he's angry. And so he's telling them to be angry. So you just work it through in therapy. You work it through in therapy and you work with your therapist to help the kids understand why you had to report it, why there is supervised visits, and to help them see that they are being manipulated by the ex. So yeah, when there's cases of domestic violence, yeah, you had to report it. And to not report it would have been neglectful and you could have been in trouble. So, yeah, they're going to be angry. They don't understand, especially, I don't know how old they are, but, help the kids understand. Work with your therapist to help the kids understand. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. Why would my mother, who has BPD, who used to verbally abuse me to the core when I was a small child, still to this day forget how much I love her? Because that does not go with their basic premise. So their basic assumption, their basic premise is that they're unlovable, especially when they start sliding to the malignant end of the spectrum. And they want to believe that they are the ultimate victim, that nobody loves them. They may as well go to the garden and eat big, slimy, hairy worms. Guys, I'm talking about the malignant end of the spectrum. I am not talking about the quiet end or the hermit end. I'm talking about the witch, bitch, and the queen. Okay? So their whole thing is nobody loves them. Nobody loves them enough. Poor them. Victim, 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 victim. That's why they refuse to acknowledge that people actually do love them, because it conflicts with their story. Okay. And their story is that they're a victim. So there it is. Narcs in court have a short attention span. Yes. They really love filing emergency temporary orders. Yes. That's when they brag to their friends that the judge gave them this and that. Yeah, absolutely. They do that. Absolutely. When you're involved with a malignant narcissist or a malignant borderline, be prepared for a whole bunch of filings of motions. Filings of motions, temporary custody, this, that, and the other thing. They're going to do all sorts of stuff. And it's just, they think they can manipulate the court. But like I said, judges don't care. And they get pissed off when the narcissist or the borderline keeps lengthening things out because they want shit off their docket. That's really what they want. So eventually it'll come out. Yes, the regular court proceedings are not as exciting as the emergency orders, plus the fact the regular court proceedings generally go against them once the judge is aware what is going on and how this person is trying to manipulate the system. Okay, I have heard that if there is a firearm in the house, domestic homicide goes up 500%. I don't know about that. I do know that an abuser is going to do whatever if they're so inclined, if they're psychotic, if they're dark triad, and if they've been beating you, you don't want firearms in the house. You don't. It's dangerous because they could use it because their little brains are not firing correctly. So, they want to win at all costs. Will they grab a weapon? Yeah, that could be a gun. It could be a knife. It could be a baseball bat. It could be, God, Jesus, I've heard of all sorts of things being used as weapons in domestic violence cases, So, yeah. So any weapon could be used. If there's any sort of physical violence whatsoever, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. It isn't safe. They aren't going to get better. They're going to get worse, and their punishments are going to get worse, and they will use whatever they have at hand to beat you. So, or to kill you, or whatever they're going to do. So, yeah. Okay. And I lost my spot again. Hang on. Okay. Okay, my ex insisted on providing a house for our son's hockey relocation, but he's never there, so I constantly have to accommodate travel for my son's best interests. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll get him involved in really expensive hobbies and then never pay. That's another way they try to bankrupt is with the kids, is they, again, use the kids as a weapon. They use the kids as a financial gotcha. So they'll get him involved in really expensive hobbies and really expensive sports, and then they never contribute. Absolutely. Yep. If you're living with the narcissist, get the hell out. Get the hell out as soon as possible. So, okay. Yeah, sometimes when DCS is called, it actually helps the other parent, the good parent, the healthy parent, the normal parent, because, more documentation that this person is harassing and abusive and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, expect the absolute worst from them, guys. That's another reason to get out as soon as possible. They've been known to use the child stuff to keep kids from getting onto websites and things like that, or the trackers or things like that you would use with a teenager or whatever on the phones and the computers. They'll do spyware. They'll do, keystroke loggers. They'll get all your passwords. They'll do also, if they have any sort of savvy in that, and it doesn't take much, really almost anybody can do this. They'll do it. So if you have phones, get rid of your phones, change all your passwords, use some password generator that's going to generate nonsense that they wouldn't be able to guess in 100,000 million years. So yeah, you absolutely want to change all of that. Question, I've had to use lawyers and fees are destroying everything. Ultimately, it is children's well-being and education. When does sense kick in? For them, never, never, never. You've got to understand you are doing battle with the devil, okay? And they want to win at all costs. They do not care about the kids. They don't care about inheritances. They don't care about college educations. They would rather you blow through every single cent that you own fighting them and making sure the kids are safe than to leave you alone and go live their lives. Because they're just, they'd rather have a fucked up connection than no connection at all. That's what they do. So what you do is you just keep hitting them with no, 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 and no. And yes, we're going to keep going back to court until you go away. And maybe a harassment charge. Speak to your lawyer, because at some point it becomes harassment. It really does. So they don't care about the kids' well-being. And you just keep documenting that, and you just keep showing that, and you just keep doing what you need to do to protect the kids. And is it expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes, it is, ultimately. So, and it's a pain in the ass. It absolutely is. And that is their intention. Their intention is to make you blow every single cent that you have. And you know what? The kids are worth it. So there you go. Chris was like, speak slowly. That's not going to happen. Okay. And you document. You just document. All right. Why would a narc choose to make someone sick instead of using a weapon to kill them? Because they enjoy it. Because they're sadists. Because they enjoy it. So Munchausen by proxy, remember? So making other people sick so that they can get the sympathy, that kind of thing. Or, narcs love to destroy people with lack of sleep, they scream at them, they keep them up at night. If they're diabetic, they shove sugar and alcohol at them. They enjoy watching this person slowly disintegrate in front of their eyes because it's a power fucking trip. Haha, I did that. Sick. It's fucking sick. But that's why they do it. It's a power trip. Everything goes back to the ego. Everything goes back to the ego with a narcissist. It's like they enjoy the power trip of showing that they have the power to destroy you. That's really what it's all about, the win for them. If they can make you die, so much the better, because they hate us. They hate us because once they realize that mirroring us doesn't make them us, and that possessing us also does not make them us, and they will never have the love, the kindness, the caring, the empathy, the light, the humor, the joy, the adventure of us, that pisses them off. And if they can't be us, they're going to destroy us because they're fucking assholes. Okay. All right. Whoa, this thing just popped up again. All right. Okay. I think, whoa. Yeah, they will come up with all sorts of crazy accusations and you just disprove them and you don't get upset. I mean, it's going to be hard because anybody would get upset with a false accusation. You absolutely bet, but you take the high road. What they're wanting is they're wanting the dramas, and that's why they do the false accusations. They want to gotcha. They want the gotcha. They want to poke the bear. They want to get you to react. They want you to be just as batshit crazy as they are. That's why they do the whole, oh, well, everybody lies. Oh, well, everybody steals. Oh, well, everybody da-da-da, because they're trying to justify their own miserable existence, and they're trying to convince everybody around them to be just like them so they can feel normal, but they're not. So, so you just rise above it. Just rise above it. The truth eventually always comes out. It might take a lot of time, but it does. My psychiatric physician, he has 27 years experts in violence, tells me that it's all normal, familiar drama. She has no idea about the hell. Oh, well. I'll figure out what to do somehow. You need a new person. This is not normal. I'm sorry. It's not normal. Normal people don't behave like this. Absolutely not. Find somebody else. Yeah. Oh, geez. My ex would call me with her new boyfriend on the line to tell me how they were doing. Well, that's another thing that they'll do is they either sit there and, they try to triangulate. Is what they do. So what they try to do is they try to get the new supply to hate you because you're the old supply, and they need to keep the focus off of them. So they try to get the new supply to focus on you so that they're, triangulation, and it's, don't look here, look over here, don't look here, that kind of thing. So that's what they do. Can you really see if a person is a narc to avoid before you marry him or her? Yes! Abso-freaking-lutely. There are signs. There are red fucking flags waving in our faces, but we choose to go, la, 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 I don't see them. They're not there. Yes, there's all sorts of, in fact, that's one of the books I'm going to be writing is all of the tells that these people do, the love bombing, okay? The love bombing, the mirroring, all of this. And then every single ex they have is crazy. Every single ex they have is a horrible, awful, terrible person. There's nothing good about any of them. So do you see where I'm going? Yeah, you can absolutely tell, but you've got to be aware of the red flags. And that means taking the blinders off, taking the earplugs out of your ears, and working on the original wound so that one of these fuckers walks into your life, you sidestep them and they just keep walking. So yeah, there are absolute tells. You can tell when somebody is narcissistic. You can tell when somebody is disordered. You can tell when somebody is abusive. You just have to be willing to see the red flags and not sit there and go, oh, poor them. I can love them into sanity. No, you can't. You cannot. You cannot love them into sanity. It will not happen. What will end up happening is they'll love bomb, get you, and then start the intermittent positive rewards. And then at some point, they devalue, discard. That's what they do. Okay. My brother is a narcissist alcoholic. His wife took his son and left. His focus of conversations for the next year was about the money he lost in the divorce, not the breakup of his family. Odd? Yes. Absolutely. You would think he would be heartbroken over losing the son at the very least, the wife maybe. But when somebody's an addict, okay, it very much mimics narcissistic personality disorder, because when you are in the thralls of an addiction, you are the most selfish piece of shit on the face of the planet. You really are, because the only thing that matters to you is your next high, or your next drink, or your next shot, or your next whatever. So it very does mimic narcissistic personality disorder. That's why it's so hard to tell what's going on until you get these people sober, and then you can figure out, oh, okay, it was the addiction. We have some self-esteem issues to work on. Or do you see where I'm going with that? So yes, being upset about the money, a material thing, what the fuck? Yeah, no, that's not normal at all. You would be concerned about the child, if you're normal in any way, shape, or form. Okay, yes, that is odd. And that is a narcissistic thing. But because there's also alcoholism going on, it makes me wonder, is it this or is it that? Or is it a combination? So you wouldn't be able to tell until the person got sober. Really, truly. You would not be able to tell until the person got sober. Okay. All right. Can someone with BPD go from being loving to narcissistic? As soon as they go to the malignant spectrum, are they a complete lost cause? I stay low contact with this borderline. Yeah, absolutely. Once somebody has moved into the malignant end of the spectrum, okay, wrap your heads around this. Okay. When they are down at the lower end of the spectrum and they are quiet, right, they usually turn all of their angst onto themselves. Okay. This is where you get the cutters, the suicidal ideation, gestures, etc. Okay. When they slide down to the bitch witch, I'm just going to call it bitch witch, and queen, they are enjoying it. They are truly enjoying it. And the same thing with NPD is that once they've gone from traits of, a little full of themselves, a little big man on campus or big woman on campus, that kind of thing, and they've moved to malignant end in their dark triad, stick a fork in them, they're done. They enjoy it. They enjoy it. And they're not going to have a come to Jesus meeting with themselves and do some introspection and go, what is my part in this? You can always tell when you're dealing with a narcissist because they'll go to therapy once, maybe twice. And then as soon as the therapist goes, what's your part in this? They go, fuck you, you're incompetent, you're this, you're that, and they're out because they don't want to work on themselves. So yeah, it's once they hit malignancy, be done. Be done, be done, be done. It's not your job to fix them. You did not break them. You cannot fix them. I cannot fix them. The only person that can fix them is them. And generally, by the time they get down there, they're not interested. So yeah, be done. The other ones that you will see are the ones that are at the malignant end of the spectrum that sit there and go, help me, 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 help me. And so people are trying to help them and help them and help them and help them, but nothing ever changes. That's just as malignant because now these people are wasting all their time and energy on this person who's going, help me, help me, help me, and they're never changing. Same thing. All right. Yeah, stay low contact. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Wait, this just popped up again. Why does this do that? At least it's better than Facebook. I got to tell you. Okay. Where did this go? Yes. Okay, there we are. Okay, hang on. Triangulation. So when somebody tries to triangulate, okay, when somebody says, well, so-and-so said such and such about you, that's when you go, great, let's get them on the phone. Let's get this person here in the room. Let's talk about it. And generally, narcissists don't want that because now they're caught in their lie. So yeah, you always do that. You always call them out on that. It's like, nope. Oh, you're talking about my new wife? Okay, great. Let's get everybody on the phone. And that'll end that pretty quickly. Or the person will go, you know what? I'm not going to do triangulation. Have fun with that. So you just don't triangulate. You absolutely don't. Okay. All right. Question. Is there a risk that flying monkeys will be able to support the narc in estate and divorce courts and convince the judge that I am the crazy person? How do you handle this? Judges are really not interested in hearsay. Judges are really not interested in drama. So you stick to the facts. You just stick to the facts, and they're going to say and do whatever they say and do. I have been in several court cases where the narcissist absolutely implodes in the middle of the court because they're not getting their way. And the calmer you are, the crazier they look. So you just want to stay absolutely calm. Their courts are not interested in he said, she said. They're not. They're interested in facts and figures, facts and figures, facts and figures. You get all your facts together, you present them, and yeah, they could try to have people come up and say, well, she's this, that, and the other thing, and it's all an opinion. That's not facts and figures, and judges are not really concerned about that. So they're interested in facts and figures. That's really, and you just stay calm. You stay above it. You absolutely stay above it. How does a narc do on a mental psych test ordered by the court? Okay, so here's the deal. Can somebody fool a psych eval? Anything's possible. Anything is possible. However, if you have a really good practitioner giving the psych eval, probably not, because it's usually like a 300 to 600 question test thing that they do, and it's hours long. So you're having hopefully somebody who knows what they're doing, giving the questions, watching the answers, watching the body language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If they are a psychopath, could they possibly fool it? They might. If the person doesn't have the experience, yeah, possibly, but probably not probable. So there that is. Okay. All right, hang on. Oh, and they'll fight restraining orders. Absolutely. Yeah. And the crazy thing of it is, there will be like mountains of evidence that they've been harassing and stalking and this and that and the other thing. And they'll still be like, I'm fighting this. And it's like, are you out of your fucking, let me answer that for you. Yes. So they will, because they think they're right. So be prepared. When you file a restraining order, yeah, 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to fight it. Absolutely. Until they realize, no, they're not going to win, and that it's going to cost money to fight it, because it costs money to fight a restraining order. So yeah, absolutely. They'll do all sorts of crazy things. Okay. Oh, where did that go? Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh, nuts. Hang on. It just jumped again. Okay. Yeah, they complain about the lawyer's fees, taking time off of work, but they're the ones that keep dragging it out. It's just crazy. All right. Do you think the narcissism and other question B personality disorders are becoming more prevalent in society? I think we're talking more about it. I think there's more of an awareness about it now. I think that in the past, abuse was not spoken about. It really wasn't. It was like a shameful thing, and they put it back on the target of abuse, which, fuck that shit. So I think now that we have got a good dialogue going about what is abuse, and it's not just physical. I mean, people are always like, it drives me crazy when people come onto this forum and they're like, well, she didn't beat me, but, and I'm like, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be emotional. It can be verbal. It can be, abuse is way more than just physical violence. It can be verbal violence. It can be emotional violence. It can be, gaslighting. It can be, it's all of this stuff. So I think now that there is more of a dialogue about it, I think we're more aware of it. I think there's more that we recognize and we see. Are there more of them around? Quite possibly, but I also think that it's because we're now speaking about it. So there is that. All right. Yes, they will try to triangulate and say so-and-so said such and such about this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and you just don't go with it. Okay. No hoovering. Don't buy the hoovering. They'll do that as well. They'll try to hoover you back, because to them, and especially if you have a new boyfriend or girlfriend or even a wife, they may try the hoover even then, because if they can make you leave them to go back to them, that's a huge win for them. And they're cray-cray, and that's why they do it. Okay. Let's see. My ex told me the supply. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. I feel my support system professional has been affected by my stalker. Why would a professional just believe an outsider? Not sure I understand your question. So if you could tell me more information, Lolly, that would help me understand. If I don't get to it today, because I am running out of time, if I don't get to it today, you can always send me questions on We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez on Facebook. And if it's something that you want me to answer, I can try to do it in another Q&A question. So I'm not quite sure I understand your question. So if you could IM that to me on Facebook, that would be great. Okay, let's see. Hello, Poland. All right. All right, hang on. I'm trying to get back through to this. Oh, hello, Spain. Yes, they try to kill your soul. Absolutely. If they cannot become you, if they cannot possess what you have, they absolutely try to kill you in any way, shape, or form. Okay. In my relationship, she would gaslight me. They're also crazy making. I'm divorced now and in with an anger management therapist. I was concerned by the reactions of codependency versus BPD. Well, okay. So borderline personality disorder is based in trauma. It is based in trauma. So, oftentimes you resolve the trauma, you resolve the behaviors that go with BPD. So we develop maladaptive behaviors in order to not be abandoned, okay, when we've got BPD. So codependency issues all go back to the original wound. It all goes back to the original wound. Everything goes back to the original wound. So find out what's going on in your childhood. Find out what's going on that caused the trauma in the first place. Okay, hang on just a second. All right. Yes, you can have comorbid issues going on. You can have both bipolar and borderline personality disorder. And oftentimes they get misdiagnosed as each other, which is why an accurate diagnosis is really, really important to know what you're dealing with. Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, hold on. All right, so I want to just revisit some of the books that are going to be very, very helpful for you guys. Hang on just a second. CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Awesome, awesome book. Love this book. Get it, work it. If you're having any sort of issues with CPTSD, PTSD, family of origin issues, that kind of thing, this is your book, okay? This is really good. Now, this book is going to trigger the living fuck out of you. So be prepared. Take it in tiny, tiny, tiny little chunks. Go slow, but don't give up on it. It's a really, really good book. So this is one that I strongly, strongly recommend. Another one that I absolutely love that also deals with inner child is the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Okay, this is a great book. Love it. It is also going to trigger the living crap out of you. So again, take it in tiny chunks, do as much as you can. When it gets too overwhelming, walk away, but then come back and keep working it. Now, this one, if you've been in an abusive relationship, Who's Pulling Your Strings by Harriet Breaker. I love this book. This is a really, really good book. She also does The Disease to Please. So these are two really, really, really good books. All righty then. Oh, let me see here. All right. So also, this is about growing up with a borderline dad. This is my book, What's Wrong with Your Dad? And then we've got the Cha-Cha book, which is You Can Lead a Horse to Water, but you can't make him cha-cha, which is about all of the different types of abusers and why some people stay in the abuse and other people are able to get out. So, okay. All right. I think that's it for today. I don't know what the topic is next week. If you guys have a show topic. Oh, no, wait. I do know what the show topic is next week. Oh, I think I'm going to be doing flying monkeys. Let's talk about flying monkeys and some of the terms, because not everybody knows all the terms because everybody's on a different, spot in the journey here. So we're going to talk about flying monkeys, family of origin, all of the people that are, maybe doing abuse by proxy. I want to talk more about that. That's it. All right. So you guys go have a great week. I'm going to be talking about flying monkeys next week. Please go visit Mercury Eventbrite and sign up for the Honolulu lecture and book signing on November 10th and the Tacoma one on December 1st. All right. That's it. Have a great week, guys. And I will talk to you later. Bye.